The reality of open rebellion was something that almost came as a surprise in the late 1790s. The United Irishmen had originally intended to achieve their aims through political means, and they were going nowhere by the mid-1790s. Now, they did at that point begin to consider a rebellion, a revolution, they hoped, like the French model. But in a sense, they were driven into a premature rebellion when, in the first place, their plans were discovered by the authorities. They weren't very good at keeping things secret. And then it was a matter of either rise or just lie down.
There were many, many battles. Many atrocities, of course, occurred on both sides. And over the next few months, it was really a retrenching operation. They started to pull back from places they had taken. Eventually, of course, the defining battle was the one on Vinegar Hill, where the United Irishmen eventually lost that and had to retreat.
The transportation of United Irishmen after 1798, it was really a practical matter. First of all, there were lots of them, and execution probably was just too problematic in terms of numbers. But also, it was really a very sensible way of getting rid of them, out of the way, no martyrs, and I suppose cleaning up the possibility of further uprising in the future. It wasn't that some United Irishmen weren't dispatched in physical terms, but it was just a sensible solution to get rid of them. And anyway, it fitted in with the growing reliance on transportation of criminals, which was part of the British reality at the time.
Word had come out from Ireland that the United Irish Rebellion effectively wasn't finished. It was still going on. Robert Emmet in 1803 led another very brief failed rebellion. Word of the rebellion got out to Australia, and Cunningham and others believed that if they could rebel, if they could get freed, if they could get a ship, perhaps they could come back to Ireland and help in continuing the rebellion here. They saw that it hadn't ceased. Cunningham sent some of his men off to try and raid an government arms depot and to get arms. They had some initial successes, basically small skirmishes around the area, but eventually ended up coming together again on Castle Hill, where they hoped to have a chance to just regroup, catch their breath before going on.
The original Vinegar Hill battle was fought above the Slaney in Wexford during 1798, but we had our version of it, and there were many dreams associated with it. But one of them was the restoration of equity. These men lived under a tyranny of one governor becoming increasingly unstable. And I think that instability is reflected in some of the punishments inflicted on the Irish rebels of Castle Hill.
Rebellion by the United Irish convicts at Castle Hill in 1804 and the Eureka Stockade rebellion in 1854 are linked by the battle cry, death or liberty. They're linked in more ways than that. They both show a preparedness to resist unfair treatment and unfair rules by which people are governed. The Castle Hill Rebellion is important because it shows that the Irish prisoners were not prepared to simply be victims, to be victims of passive or overt cruelty, to surrender to colonial authority, that in fact they took it into their own hands to resist. And I think that spirit of resistance is what the Castle Hill Rebellion bequeaths to Australia very early on in our period of white settlement.
Vinegar Hill was seen as in a tradition of democratic protest in Australia. Of course, we are all tempted. My uneasiness is that we are tempted to look on violent events as being key events to political progress. I would like to think otherwise, but it is true that it was inevitable that the Eureka Stockade people would use Vinegar Hill as a byword. Those who didn't know of the Parramatta or Toongabbie Vinegar Hill, so I look on those United Irishmen in early New South Wales as, boy, probably despite their drinking habits, angels of enlightenment. And again, an indication of the fact that this was not a bad progeny. This was not a bad set of forebears to lay down for an Australian populace.